And we are back. And if this is the first time you've ever seen us, we're here. Welcome. So this is Mike to my left or right, whichever way you're looking at it. I'm Don. We're working on the intro. But yesterday we did a video talking about IBM and the job layoffs. There's more to come. There's 50,000 jobs so far due to AI. It was layoffs.fyi. Is that what it was? Maybe. Anyway, I'd asked everyone a question. Have you heard of Devin? Devin just popped up. One of their first videos on YouTube already got more than my whole channel ever will. But with the right purpose, and the comments were interesting, which we will get into. But Mike, you had not heard of it, and I told you to prepare. And he's got he did his homework. We have a whole slideshow. He's going to break it down to us. So now he is going to educate me on it. I gave you guys the highlights of what Devin is. Now he's going to tell us. What do you? I always ask you every time. What's the opener you got for us? What are your thoughts at the top?
I got nothing. I got nothing tonight. I mean, the slideshow will present itself.
Okay. Well, let's share and jump into it. Let's go. I need to, bring it up. There we go. Now we're talking. Let's go side view so we can get everything. Okay. All right. Meet your next software engineer, Devin. Now, that's what this is. It's a software engineer. And I got to say, one of the funniest comments, I don't know why I actually laughed out loud, was imagine losing your job to an AI named Devin. Like the names are funny. And it's kind of like when EVs first came out, like manufacturers had to create a certain mileage. So all manufacturers have had like an electric vehicle for some time. And they always look like some little round bumblebee, dumb looking thing that, no one's going to buy. And that kind of reminds me of all like the names people are coming up with all these. Like when Google came out with Bard, like that's what you came up with. Like, come on, give it any other name than that. I don't care if it's an acronym, just give it another name. Something cool like Jarvis. How come Iron Man has Jarvis and Google brought us Bard? And now Cognition AI brings us Devin. Thanks. I'm pretty sure this is Devin, by the way. Devin created an AI version of himself.
Yeah, so this is an AI agent specifically built to do coding, and it does quite well, actually.
It did. So in theory, this is Scott Wu, the CEO of Cognition AI. He's the human software engineer.
In theory.
No one's seen him in real life, though. How hilarious would that be, though, if this was a text to video prompt and turns out Scott's actually some just middle-aged white guy, just looks more like me than anything else, but AI came up with this guy.
You just never know, man.
That would be hilarious. Would that bump your timeline up if that turned out to be the case? Like, what if this whole video presentation was AI just saying, hey, by the way, I can make
No, it wouldn't change anything for me.
All right, next slide. It says, what else? They gave it a job. They tested it against real-world requests at Upwork, completing a real project. That's what I thought was crazy.
Yeah, so back up a second. So this is a basically one of those narrow AI agents, right? It's a product to do one function. Right. So it's not AGI or anything like that. But it has its own. It basically has its own console, it has its own browser. It can code, it can debug, it can do all kinds of stuff. And so what they did, they tested out in a bunch of different ways, but they decided to let's just go ahead and give it a job. And they went out to Upwork and found some stuff and actually had it code for some actual requests out there, and it completed them and did it successfully, which to me is just wild.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are thinking, the first thing anyone's thinking is, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go to Upwork and take on all the clients. But this is going to spread so fast that you're going to get one or two people that actually get a commission from a job, and then everyone's going to have it.
Yeah.
This would be like me trying to sell on Facebook Marketplace some Chat GPT services. Like I could ask Chat GPT for you. 3.5, not even 4.
Yeah, I mean, think about this for a second. So if they're into the code development, they don't have to go anywhere. People will come to them and say, I want you to develop this code for me, and they'll do it for a fixed cost or whatever. The middleman is gone. The middleman, the salesperson, everything, all that is gone. There's just the person requesting it and the AI.
Yeah. And let's put one layer of tinfoil on the beta phase. All that's going to do is every job that comes up to get requested, like, oh, we're going to learn that. We're going to learn that, and you're going to pay us for it. People are basically paying to train the AI jobs.
Yeah.
I need it to do this, and they're just going to write everything they needed to do that, and then it's just going to go in their catalog of we can do this now.
Right.
And then it's just going to, at this point, there won't even be the human from Cognition AI. It'll just be click on our services, and it's already done.
Yeah. I mean, we are at the moment where a junior developer can be fully 100% replaced by an AI agent.
Now, what's the difference between a junior developer? Like, give me just, if you can, ballpark it between a junior developer and like a developer.
As in what the difference is? So a junior developer is someone like right out of school who they might have some code skills, but they don't have a lot of experience in coding, multiple problems. So they'll be able to handle the basic stuff. But they wouldn't be able to handle the advanced things, by any stretch. That takes time to really get that code skill up to a level where you can handle the advanced topics.
Okay. So much like that video we did with lawyers, the junior lawyers. Toast.
Right.
Now we're just the next branch in the tree, right?
Right.
Yeah, and it smoked it. So did it say what this human is? Who this human is supposed to be?
I forget his name. I couldn't tell you. It was Kevin or something like that.
I heard his voice, by the way. That's an AI.
You think so?
I don't know. English, I don't think is his first language, but it almost sounded like when you upload your voice and have AI kind of read a script.
It could be.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anybody saying this is an AI joke, it's this one for sure. This character for sure.
This character.
I'm sorry, but from now on, going forward, after seeing this, I've made up my mind. I do not believe you're a human until we shake hands. I don't trust a Zoom call. Nothing. You need to shake one of my friends' hands. There better be a chain of command. Like, somebody that knows somebody knows somebody that can tell me I've met this person. That's it. And first of all, if you're a female and you see that face on Tinder, swipe left. It's not real. They're taking all your information. All right, so I recognize this graph. This is at the end, right, with the problem solving and everything. So what's going on in this slide? Break this one down for us.
Yeah, so this is a benchmark of comparing different LLMs on how they performed when coding to issues that are in GitHub. Okay. So GitHub's basically a giant code repository, and people ask for they throw their code up there. They can ask for input. They can ask for troubleshooting stuff. The key thing here is, and I can't remember the metric, but it was like 13. Like it was able to solve 13 point something% of what was thrown at it, which was a huge leap forward compared to what the old LLMs were able to do. I think the highest was like 4% or something like that.
Yeah. And I can read it off because it's 13.86%. It says we evaluated Devin on the SWE bench, a challenging benchmark that asks agents to resolve real-world GitHub issues found in open source projects like Django and whatever the other learn one, Scikit-learn. Why do they spell stuff? That's not even a real word. Anyway. Devin correctly resolves 13.86% of the issues end to end, far exceeding the previous state-of-the-art 1.96%. Right. Even when given the exact files to edit, the best previous model can only resolve 4.8% of issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a huge cry or
so
huge
I,
jump.
I did highlight that thing at the bottom. So that's just a blow up of what's at the bottom of the graph there.
Uh-huh.
The Devin
Mhm.
did this unassisted, whereas the other agents you see in the blue, they only got to those benchmarks when they were assisted. Basically, told where certain files were told where how to do certain things, or
Yeah.
where in the code to go look for problems.
Mhm.
Devin didn't need that. This was unassisted, 13.9% or whatever it is, and
So,
that's out of the box.
yeah. So Devin drew a picture. Claude, was that Llama? So Llama 13B, 7B, Chat GPT 4 and 3.5. They connected the dots and said, "Here's a picture."
Right.
Yeah, because someone had to say, "Here's this information. Here's this information," and then it drew the conclusion, and it still came up with the highest one was Claude 2, came with a 4.8.
Yeah.
Devin was just released in the sandbox and said, "Go do something."
Go do something, and
Yeah, and it did it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
what do you think the next jump is? The next time we see how fast do you think this is going to grow?
I think this is going to be one of the faster ones that grows because it's a narrow AI and they're not trying to get broad skills. They're trying to really hyper focus on programming skills,
Okay.
which is going to make it accelerate even faster than some of the other things because it's going to be training itself to get better.
Okay. It's like a bodybuilder only working out one muscle.
Yeah. 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 What was that movie with? I think it's an M. Night Shyamalan where there's a guy that only works out one arm. And so
He's like, "I'm like a science experiment."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which in this case, it's going to be cool because you can have an AI, we'll call it, I don't want to say AGI, but just in general, a jack of all trades. And it's cool at a lot of things. But this one, I mean, we could just looking at this graph right now, because they're going to focus on this. And there's so much you can do with programming. So it's not a bad thing to be hyper focused on.
Yep.
But it is going to be leaps and bounds.
So, and
better.
the cool thing about this application, or
Mhm.
I don't even call it an application. The cool thing about this service,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, agent, you're using just your common, speaking. So you tell it what you want to do. You don't have to give it any kind of sort of special, context or anything. You just say, "I want you to go build X," and
Mhm.
it will go out and do it. That's
Yeah.
what's so cool about this. You don't have to know any programming language whatsoever.
Yeah. Or be a prompt engineer. Nothing.
Nope. This is strictly, just common language.
This is like having a really smart neighbor that's willing to work for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I said. So, you know what? We should have done a video on this. AI is going to be, and I've said this a long time ago. AI, they say you can't fix stupid. AI is going to be the one thing that finally does, and
I think so.
that's the benchmark. Is when does it fix stupid? And like, are we getting there right now?
Yeah, I really hope someone builds a single purpose AI for teaching. I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah, I would 1000% would have all my kids homeschooled from then on.
Yep, exactly.
Like they would graduate college level stuff by the time they're 14. Like high school would be if you think about high school and moving at the slowest pace, because you got to move at the fastest idiot, like, come on, like the amount of, if I just gave you a high school curriculum by yourself, just think of how fast you could learn all that. You could have high school done in a year, like one season, not even like a full January, December year.
Yeah.
So imagine how much smarter everyone would be if they had something like that, and then they just did homeschool for a year.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. This narrow AI, single purpose AI,
Mm-hmm.
I think I think that's where we're gonna see a lot more of,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like a general purpose. LLMs, Claude, ChatGPT. Those are just generalized, AIs for now. I think these single purpose AI agents, I think that's what we're going to start seeing a whole bunch of over the next 6 months.
Okay. What do you think, if you had to guess right now, what do you think the next stat is? It's been 30, 60. First of all, do you think it's going to be 30, 60, 90 days? And then what's this 13.86 number going to be?
I would say within a year, we're going to be 80%.
Oh, gosh. That's going to be cool. What I need an AI to do is do all my YouTube stuff. Let me record. It does the title, the description. It just does all of that like grunt work. Gosh, we would be a content machine. I could do 15 videos a day. I could just sit and talk. I could talk forever. You guys know that. I can just go on rant mode. All right, what's this last slide? Funding. I'm seeing some.
Yeah, so our angle is we're always trying to figure out how do we invest in this stuff, right? So this is unfortunately it's not a public company. It's got funding from the Founders Fund, which one of their key partners is Peter Thiel. So the same guy who invested in Palantir, SpaceX. This Founders Fund has invested in all kinds of great startups.
Another small one you might have heard of, Facebook,
Airbnb. So it's got some backing. So it's going to be successful. It's a small company. I think it's like 10 or 12 people. Again, back to what we said, we're going to start seeing some billion-dollar companies with fewer and fewer people.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, once you replace Amazon with robots, because it's just a bunch of warehouses moving product around, it's literally going to be 4 people running Amazon.
Right.
And that's just to make sure there's still power going on. Is the power of the building? Yeah, I'll check my phone real quick.
This again, this is leading up to exactly what we said. Fewer and fewer people doing more and more and more because these AI agents are going to be able to do everything for you.
Yeah. And the weight on those, it's not going to be like, because that almost sounds bad when you say it out loud, because then you might think Tesla, with Elon doing X and SpaceX and Tesla and the Boring Company, it's going to be like all of that. But Elon has time to tweet because the weight on their shoulders is going to be so much less as well.
Right.
Because, like I said, it's going to be like, hey, are the lights still on? Like, let me check. As the CEO, it's going to be like your hardest question. Like, it looks like things are still working.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, really, what a couple of people will have to, they'll think of their next idea and they'll ask what their AI agent, hey, go make this happen. And it'll just go happen.
Last question. Should this guy go into hiding? We need to come up with a metric on should this person go into hiding. Like this guy would be closer to a 9 or 10 being like people are going to be pissed when they lose their jobs. And then 1 being like, yeah, you were involved, but we're not showing up at your door.
So something that I didn't put on the slide deck, which I probably should have, were some of the comments in these videos. I did notice the anger is starting to be fomented.
Yeah, it for sure is.
I think some people are waking up, and a lot of programmers saw this and were like, WTF, this is a job killer. And so people are starting to see the writing on the wall. And I think this was a big eye opener for the development community, because even people I work with still have no clue what's coming. And I've talked to them about this, and they're like, I'm sticking my head in the sand. It's not happening.
Yeah, I've even talked to some coders, and it still blows me away. It makes me question, because I'm like, you worried yet? They're like, no. I'm like, how? Like, what do you know that I don't know? What makes you so comfortable with this? Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, that's doing your job. I'm not cocky enough to say like I could do their job if I had these tools, but I will say that when I saw this, it was closer and closer to, I wonder if I could take that tool and go talk to my friend's boss and say, I can replace that guy for half the salary. And would they know the difference?
Yeah.
I
mean, there were multiple comments in that video of people in school who are going for computer science degrees questioning whether they want to continue on with that degree.
I would hate to be the reason somebody quits school, but I gotta say, I think I'd be out. I wouldn't waste a bunch. I would go to school if it was free. I got nothing better to do with my time. There's no way I'd be going to school to learn how to code right now.
No.
Like, and I'm not talking about it because if you ask anybody, is it worth going to school to be a coder? Like, oh, it's saturated and this and that. Like, literally none of those reasons. It would be because of this right here. Like, and like I said about being a lawyer, no way am I going to sign up to be an accountant or a lawyer. Get my master's, spend the next 8 years in school, what I think to be the next 8 years in school, only to be a couple years in, some debt, and this guy, Devin. He just comes out and is like, by the way, you don't need to go to school tomorrow because it's pointless. You can go if you want, but you're not going to have a job when you get out, no matter what anybody told you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's 13% now efficient, not efficient. It's able to solve 13% of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst it's going to be.
Yeah. Go give your kid 100 problems and see how many they solve. Like brand new, never before seen problems. 13 would be pretty impressive. And then tell them to study and learn and see how much they pass the second time.
I mean, Scott Wu, whether he's fake or not, was talking about how this is just the beginning, and they've got plans to really develop this and make this probably one of the most powerful AI agents out there. So, I mean,
look at his face.
Take that for what it's worth.
Look how innocent this guy looks. Just imagine that's the picture that's going to be on a milk carton soon. Okay. Like I hate to laugh about that, but Boeing, there was a whistleblower at Boeing that all of a sudden, he found the off switch. Let alone somebody like this. There was a couple planes that went down. Planes carry 300 people. It's a sad story. Don't get me wrong. Sucks. A door blew off, almost killed another 300 people.
Right.
300. There's more than 300 coders worried about their job right now.
This is the 300,000 job killer. As of today, for junior level developers, they're gone. They're toast. It's over.
Look at this guy. So happy. This innocent guy has no idea what's coming.
I mean, here's your 10-second intro. Junior level developers are toast.
Yeah. Hey guys, I know you put a lot of hard work into that. There's no need. We did it for you. You're not gonna get paid for it or anything, but we're gonna do it for you. Oh man. Okay, so let's not drag this out. But I will say to everyone else, if you want to chime in on any comments, this video did give me an idea, and we're gonna start putting a should you go into hiding metric on some of these guys. I think that's gonna be a good one. And so because we haven't fine-tuned it yet, should you go into I'm talking full-blown CIA hiding. 10 being pack your stuff or don't even pack. Just get out of the house right now. 1 being you're fine, right? What would you give this guy right now?
I would give this guy and his team, because it's not just him.
I see this guy's face though.
Yeah, so the 10 or 12 people, I'd put them on an 8. Like they better start getting some security. For real.
Jumping into an 8?
For real,
man. I was gonna say a 6. There's enough people with their head in the sand. Maybe a 6 now. Maybe we turn that into an 8 later, like a doomsday clock kind of thing.
I read those comments. There are some angry people.
People love to be angry. It's hard to read internet hate because there's a lot of keyboard warriors, but then there's you never know when that one just pops off though.
Yeah.
They're angry now, but they still have a job. But when they're angry and their boss says, over a tweet or a 7-minute video, you don't have a job. What does that turn into? I do think, and I agree. Outside of this video, there's going to be some extremists created off of this.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I really want us to get leaders who can help through this transition now. I know we're not going to get it, but I wish we'd start electing leaders who are going to get us through this in the short term, because this is going to get bad.
I agree. Well, on that morbid note, Scott, I don't even drink milk, but I would if you were on the milk carton, and I would.
We can't end it like
that. No, I hope. I mean, I hope well for everybody. I would never condone anything like that, but
no.
If I'm making this, I'm not showing my face. I'm really not. I don't think. Hopefully everyone's okay, but I just know that video's coming up soon of the first riot that did something, and then it's gonna be a dumb video. But on that morbid note, let's wrap it up here. And See you guys all on the next one. Do you have any? What's the outro, Mike? What's the call to actions? Where can they find us? Get more, all of that.
Oops.
That's Scott, by the way.
Sorry about that.
Or is that Devin?
It's Devin. I would actually just encourage everyone to go look at the video. It's pretty impressive, and just kind of let your mind wander and see if you can think where this is going.
Perfect. That's an awesome one. All right, we'll wrap it up here. We'll see everybody in the next video.
All right.
Have a good one.
See you guys.